Alrighty. Hello vinyl friends and lovers, vinyl collectors, vinyl junkies. Yeah, Uncle Roddus back again, and it's another video. Gosh damn it. Only just made one the other day, didn't I? Well, yes, as I said, the Trade Me purchases are coming in thick and fast, and I had 3 come in today, 3 come in yesterday. I've got a reissue that came in today as well. So today, we'll get back to that. Yesterday, right, so I won these on Trade Me about a week or so ago. As I said, there's a lot of New Zealand stuff coming up, and some of it's very obscure, and I didn't know what a lot of it was. Some of it I'm actually picking up pretty cheaply. There's not a lot of people are bidding, or they're not big collector's items, I guess, yet maybe, but they're pretty obscure and pretty rare, some of them. So I was completely unfamiliar with this. So I don't just buy them blind, or some of them I do, but I do a little bit of research. So yeah, Jason Sad, Lilac Dan and the Underworld versus the Golden Desperados of Apathia. So, yeah, okay, that's a pretty long-winded. This is a 4-track EP, so there is 1 long track on side 1 and 3 tracks on side 2. Yeah, this is the only record he put out apart from a 7-inch single under this name, and then he put out a 7-inch single of the same 2 songs on the 7-inch single under this name under a different name, and that's about it. And this is from the 80s sometime, I believe. Not too sure at all. So there's a cover version called Gay Boys in Bondage of a track by, someone said it was by the Drug Addicts. I think it's been done by others, but that was quite interesting. The rest of it I wasn't familiar with. It's okay. And the dog wants in. I have to let the dog in or she'll scratch at the door all night. Come on, dog. Right, back to what we were doing. So, yeah, so that's the first EP that I have picked up. Like I say, very strange, very rare, very obscure, but not expensive. Then another EP which I was a little bit more familiar with, and I've seen it on the digs in the record shop, and I never got around to picking it up, and I picked it up fairly cheaply. Skink Attack, again from the 1980s. 1987 to be precise, so reissue. This issue. Skank Records, so it's pretty much, I think, self-released out of Wellington by the looks of it. Yeah, this is kind of alternative rock, or 80s rock. It's let me see, 4 tracks. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is, as I say, I've seen this in the shops around, so it's not, it seems to turn up a little bit. I mean, it's not hugely sought after. I mean, again, I didn't pay much for it. And onto my Flying Nun stuff again. This is a Flying Nun release. This is so I've been doing really well on the Flying Nun stuff. This is Adrenal Glandy, Songs of Love, Hate and Revenge, the Eric Glandy Memorial Big Band. Now, this is really different for Flying Nun. This is completely like nothing else that they ever did. Done. And it is kind of I think it's a kind of a piss take comedy record. There is some funny lyrics on it. This is a bunch of New Zealand, fairly well known, a lot of these musicians, and I do believe Chris Knox is involved, in Don McGlashan, but they've given themselves weird names like Decibel, Delta Don, Rocky Bordeaux, Eric Glandy, of course, and etc. And there's about 8 or 9 of them. Hank Tudor, and there's some made up liner notes on the back. Some people say this is possibly the worst Flying Nun record ever released. Well, It could be. It very could be. I listened to it once. I had a bit of a giggle. Could be interesting to have a few more listeners. I don't think it's one I'm going to play very much, but it's Flying Nun, and I am, if I'm snapping up the Flying Nuns, and this is one that, Flying Nun 048, so it was fairly young in the Flying Nun catalogue. So it would have been middle 80s or mid to late 80s. So yeah, picked it up reasonably cheap. Here's some non-New Zealand stuff. So I picked up a guy was selling a record which I'm going to get to, which I really, 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 really wanted, and I had to pay a reasonable amount of money for it. But he had a couple of other records on his listings that really caught my attention, and this one in particular, and it was pretty damn cheap, and it's in good nick. And this is a Mantronix's second LP from 1986. Yeah, 86. This is a New Zealand release. And I actually had a copy of this back in the day. This is a rap album, and I really, really enjoyed it back in the day. I played it a lot, and I haven't had a copy of it for many years. And then I've been playing this a couple of times today, and while I've been cleaning and stuff. And yeah, it's held up really, really well, and I'm really enjoying it. It's a great album. It's the only one of his I ever heard or have, or I might have heard a couple of tracks here and there, but back in the day. But yeah, really cool. So I picked that up for a very nice little price. So I saw that on there. That was quite tempting, so I thought I'll see if no one else was looking at it, bidding on it. So I picked it up nice, and it helped, with the mail, because getting more records still costs the same, and the postage didn't cost me any more. And he also had a copy of this one, which I picked up, as a bit of a gamble. So Marianne Faithfull's A Child's Adventure record. This was the second album she released after her awesome record Broken English, which was released in 1979. This came out in 1983. There's another record in between this one which I might pick up a copy of one day. I hear it's pretty good, but there's not a lot else in her catalogue that really interests me that much. But I thought I'd give this a go, see what it's like. I actually was quite familiar with the Blue Millionaire when I played it this afternoon. I haven't got onto side 2 yet, so I'm not sure if there's much else I'm interested in. Not sure yet. It's gonna, I've only listened to side 1. Sounded okay, very 80s, of course. See if it'll grow on me. I mean, she's got a great voice. I mean, we all know that. But yeah, that Broken English record is a Desert Island Disc. It is an absolute awesome record. I don't think she did anything to match that even earlier on. But I mean, she's got a pretty big discography. She's around a long time. Okay, here's a 1970s New Zealand Grail. No, let's get to the other one. The one that came with those two I just showed today is another. It is a New Zealand Grail. This is from the early 80s, but most of the music was recorded in the late 70s, mid to late 70s. What do we got between 72 to 79, 78, there it is, the latest one. The piece you're hearing now is a 78 piece. So this is what's playing in the background. This is one of the Kiwi Pacific Records awesome New Zealand composers collection, but this is one of the electronic ones. John Rimmer Sound Web. This is quite sought after by collectors. It's a 3-figure record, and that's what I paid for it, unfortunately. But it's in good nick, plays really well, and I'm really impressed. I really like this. There is not a lot of this sort of music around in New Zealand. Very few. John and Rimmer and Douglas Lilburn are two off the top of my head. I have this record and Lilburn's other record. Lilburn has another one I haven't got. Plus, there's the compilations, a couple of compilations that Kiwi put out, but there's not a lot of this music around. It's pretty rare, and there's not a lot of it. So I don't know what the modern stuff's like in this department. I haven't really heard any New Zealand contemporary electronic compositional music that's coming out right now, really. So I don't know. There's certainly nothing on vinyl, which probably doesn't help. There may be some stuff on the Rattle catalogue. I'm really enjoying this. This first track that's playing is the title track, Soundweb. It's a very long piece, and it's actually quite freeform, as you can hear, and it's also got a jazzy feel to it. There is some improvisation on it, so I'm really enjoying that. And then this one here is another, unfortunately, a free figure record that I picked up, but I am really keen to get my hand. I was really keen to get my hands on it. The Quincy Conserve. I have 2 more of their records I've managed to get. There's actually only 1 more I think I need to get, or is it 2? There was a live one. There was a shared record with some other bands, but this was their very first LP from 1971, I believe. Listen to the band. Quincy Conserve with the legendary drummer Bruno Lawrence, who is a seminal figure in New Zealand music and television. He was in movies as well. He did some acting later on in his career. Unfortunately, he died quite young, many years ago, back in the late 90s, I believe. He passed away, unfortunately, in his probably early 50s, so he was slightly younger, I think, than what I am now. Great jazzy pop record. Awesome. So yeah, their first LP. It's not their best, but it's still bloody good, and it's got some absolute classics on it, particularly Ride the Rain, which was a bit of a hit for them back in the day. And then finally, this is a record I've actually only just shown you recently, but this is an alternative version, the Clean's reissue of the Clean's first EP, Boodle Boodle Boodle. Just cleaned it again, just played it, and the reason I bought this one, because I already bought the yellow New Zealand only release version of it, but I bought this because this fantastic looking white marbly splatter, whatever they want to call it, vinyl, and it looks really good, really good. I am really impressed with that. I mean, and again, like the other one, it sounds fantastic, and I just had to listen to it before and point that thing somewhere else. Man, that is an epic song, and the guitaring from David is just incredible. It is a brilliant track. So yeah, I splashed out and bought 2 copies of this. And the yellow vinyl version I showed in a recent video that I made, but this one here, this is the worldwide one. You can get this all over the world. The yellow one you have to get from New Zealand. It was a New Zealand only release. I actually like the yellow, the white one better. So I bought it, both of them. I wouldn't mind an original too, but I think, as I said in the other video, I'm still not sure whether I had a copy of this back in the day, but I'm pretty sure I must have, because I am very familiar with all of the songs on it. My question is which one is the better of the 2 EPs, this one or the Great Sounds Great EP? I'm kind of edging towards the Great Sounds Great EP. It seems to be the one that I'm more familiar with from back in the day, so I must have played it a lot more than I played this one. Although, like I say, I am very familiar with all the music on here. Right, okay, that's me. Another bunch of, just a quick run through of those bunch of records that have arrived. And I had another big night on Trade Me last night, so I've got another 6 records that I picked up. Heaps of Flying Nun ones, and not too bad a priced either. Did have to battle a bit for them, but fortunately I didn't have to battle against anyone with deep wallets this time. So won a few more that I wasn't expecting to. But really excited, so they should be here sometime next week, along with a couple of other records I've picked up. So alright, carry on. It is, what is it, 3rd of December today, so yeah, Christmas is coming. So expecting more records for Christmas. Cheers folks, see you next time.